Hello, so it's Jane's Bakes, and what I'm going to do today is show you how to fill and level a cake, a 3-layered cake. So we've got 3 7-inch sponges already prepared. We've got butter icing that's been made earlier, and I'm going to show you how to fill a cake and make sure it's level, ready to ganache or cover in buttercream or however you're going to decorate it. So first of all, you need a turntable and a non-stick mat under your board. So the cake's going to go on this board, which is a 12mm thick board. You can use a thinner one, 3mm, for a buttercream cake, but this cake's going to be covered in ganache and then fondant, so I need a thicker board for the base. This is what I use, so that's going on there like that. And then I'm going to get an offset spatula such as this, and then I'm going to put some little bit of buttercream on the board so that you can stick your cake to the board and it won't move around. So just like that, turn it around. You don't need loads, but you need enough. And the moisture, what you'll find is the moisture from your cake will stick to the board. So I'm going to take my first cake, which has been levelled, first chocolate cake, and pop it onto there, and you want it on the middle of the board. So you need to make sure there's a little gap all the way around the edge so that you're going to smooth, so you can get a nice smooth edge and put ganache on afterwards. So this is just the filling we're doing now. So that's the first cake. So what you need is a disposable piping bag, or if you've got just a regular piping bag that you prefer to use and wash, that's fine. And then we've got a plain nozzle, which is 1 centimetre across. So I'm going to pop that into the bag, so, and just chop off the end so that you can see the what you want is your nozzle to come through like that. And then what I do is I use my hands to hold the bag inside. So you sort of wrap it on the outside and you're pushing the buttercream in. Some people use a glass and they pop it onto a glass and then fill it. But I just prefer to use my hands and have less washing up. So I've got my lovely soft creamy buttercream here that we made earlier. So I've got a nice, it's lovely and creamy and soft. So scrape it away from the sides of the bowl. If there's lots of sort of air in there, a good way of getting rid of that is to give it a beat with your hand and a rubber spatula. You don't want a metal spoon because that will just scrape your bowl. A nice sturdy rubber spatula is always a good thing to have in the kitchen. So what I'm going to do, you can see it's nice and smooth, is pop that into the bag, and as you do so, push it down. So you don't want to get it at the top of the bag, you want it in the in near the nozzle. So if you use your hands and push your buttercream on, that's much easier than having it. And as what you can do then, what I do is push it down, twist it at the top. You don't want your buttercream oozing out this end, you want it oozing out this end. So you just twist it, push it down to the end like that, and then you're ready to start piping. So what I do is start at the edge. Now you don't want it going out right over the edge, you want it just to the edge. So you need to leave a few millimetres at the edge and then just pipe round like that, slowly pushing, and you want to be pushing at the same sort of strength all the way around so that you're getting like a long even sausage shape, and then you go round again on the inside, and by using a nozzle and using a piping bag, you're getting an even quantity of buttercream in the middle of your cake. So you could use just a spoon and sort of push it on and then do it by eye and by hand. But if you want your cake to be lovely and level, this is, I find, the best way of doing it. And then that's basically done the whole level of the cake. Push that last bit in the middle, and there you go. How neat is that? Then you can get your offset spatula and just smooth it round to make sure you don't want any gaps, and it's all lovely and level and not quite to the edge. And then you're ready for the next layer. So there we are, another cake that's leveled, so that's going on the top. So to make sure that your cake is level, you can use one of these, a side scraper. I find the metal ones are better. I have got plastic ones, but I do like the metal ones. And you can just go along the top of that board and just check that your cake is level, like that. And then you're ready to do the next layer. So same again. So this time your icing would have come up higher now in the bag, so just make sure you don't want it everywhere all over you. So you just do the same thing again, push it down like that, and then push in your buttercream like so with your spatula. So the thing is with baking, you can end up with so much washing up, but sometimes it's just easier to try and use the least amount of utensils. I tend to use the same utensils all the time, and they are certainly making the job easier with baking. So I'm getting all that lovely buttercream out of the bowl. You don't need any waste with this. This should be enough. Oh, we've still got some on the paddle, so we can take that off as well afterwards if we need to. So I'm going to push that down again, twist at the top, same again, and then here we go. Second time around. So exactly the same. I'm sort of pushing on, so you don't need it to twist around your turntable. I find it easier to just have it still. I'm sort of leaning on it with the front of my apron, but I mean, some people would prefer to do it this way and actually turn it while they're doing it. So you can do either, really. It's a personal preference. And that's the thing with baking. Some people do things one way, other people do it another way. And I think that's absolutely fine. That's the whole point of it, to enjoy it and do what you think. So we're going round again into the middle, and there is enough. There's a little bit extra, which is fine. You can always, if you're doing a cake that's going to be covered, might add a little bit more in there, because that one, when I spun it, went a little bit lower. So I'm going to add a bit of buttercream in there, level that off, and I use lots of buttercream, so having a bit extra is fine. It's always going to be used on the next cake or cupcakes. So there you have it. So that's your next layer, and then you put your last cake on. I'm going to put it upside down now, so you've got the nice straight edges. I'm going to push that on there and get my side scraper and just check that the cakes are nice and even. I go around on the actual board. That one could do with going over slightly. So I'm just leveling them up, and then I get my spirit level and pop that on, and that is lovely and central onto the top of the cake, and that's what you want. You want your cake level at the top, so that's level there, not quite so level there, so you can just sort of, because you've got the buttercream, you can sort of push it down, and then that's right in the middle, and then I go all the way around, just checking that it's in the middle. So that's, I don't know if you can see that. And then when you're going to cover it, there we are. When you're going to cover it with ganache, you'll then redo that. So you'll be putting another layer on. So if it's a tiny bit out now, it's not a problem, but basically your cake's lovely and flat and even. And that's how you fill a cake. 7 inch, 3 layers. Happy baking.